despite its history of aborting black children, Planned Parenthood has joined hashtag Black Lives Matter, the Twitter protest yesterday afternoon.
Oh, boy.
Black Lives Matter.
Wait,
Could somebody look up the stat on how many black lives Planned Parenthood has killed in the last
it's
30
millions.
years?
It's millions. Millions.
You could pile all of the cop killings and give them automatic weapons 24 hours a day, and I don't think they could kill as many people in the next year.
For sure. You know, it was so moving what Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, said in the beginning. What was that quote, Stu? If you could remind me of it, just.
Well, there's so many.
Sound
Pat.
Terribly loving.
One of my
black
favorites
community
is, we do not want word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, end quote.
Yeah, if that's your goal, I bet you don't want that to get out.
You wouldn't want that. That's not helpful.
It's not helpful at all.
Well, who said that? I can't. It's internet hyperbole and
right. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. A quote. We do not want word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, end quote, Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood. Okay. Also, let me give you this one. Quote, the most merciful thing that a large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it, end quote, Margaret Sanger.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Yeah, but those words, she was hepped up on coffee or something when she said that.
That's very possible.
She doesn't have a long history of saying things like this.
No, she did write a plan for peace.
Okay, what was that?
That was good, and we can understand. It's about peace, in which she said she first wanted to close the doors of all immigration for people like feeble-minded idiots, these are quotes, morons, insane, syphilitic, epileptic, criminal, professional prostitutes, and others in this class, and apply a stern and rigid policy of sterilization and segregation to that grade of population whose progeny is already tainted, whose inheritance is such objectionable traits that may be transmitted to offspring. Okay. So if you weren't acceptable to her, we'll either segregate you or we'll sterilize
let me just get off. Let me stop it. America, don't listen to this, because that was 100 years ago. Today, they're not anything like that. They're not trying to weed out the undesirables or the immigrant or the black.
You know what they are now? They're all about mammograms.
Oh, really? Right.
Well, I will tell you this.
Mammogram.
I will tell you this. 79% of all Planned Parenthood abortion facilities are within walking distance of the African American or Hispanic Latino neighborhoods, and only 36% of abortions are performed on non-white Hispanic white women. Only 36%. The rest of them are all. But that's just a coincidence.
Right.
That's not.
Okay, well, that's only 30. Okay, so that's only 64% are black. Then.
Only 64% are black or Hispanic.
Their clientele for abortion.
Barely over 50%.
It's yes.
So it was higher than
it's
I
only
thought.
14%. 14% is not that big of a percentage.
Right.
It's only 14% over 50%.
Right. Despite the fact that the population of the black population is 12% of the country.
Right.
So it seems to some as disproportionate.
Yeah, but
12%.
12% is close to 14%.
That's a lot, yes.
Right. And if you look at that 50%, with the 14%. What is 50%? That's 25% and 25%. 25% is close.
This is Jeffy math right here.
25% is very close. This is Common Core math. 25% is close to 14%, which is close to 12%, which is the population of the black. What is this? It's all in line, Pat.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's perfectly. It's a legitimate 12%,
organization. Right? 12% of the population. You take 14% out of the 64%. Take 14% off. Take the 50%. Divide that by half. That's 25. Divide that by half. It's 12.5. You're only 1/2 of a percentage point away from the population.
I'm not sure that's how.
I think you nailed that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, I mean, look, we know that Planned Parenthood is about Black Lives Mattering, and it's always been about life mattering at Planned Parenthood. Like when Margaret Sanger said, every single case of inherited defect, every malformed child, every congenitally tainted human being brought into this world
Well, do you want tainted humans being brought into the world, or morons, or feeble-minded?
Look, epileptics?
None of us want that,
Can you
right?
imagine
having
epileptics around?
It's uncomfortable when that happens.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Now, every one of those brought into the world.
Your wife is epileptic.
My wife has had that
Wouldn't you rather have her off?
I was uncomfortable.
Right. My daughter has epilepsy.
Yes.
My aunt has epilepsy. The world would have been a lot better place if it wasn't for my aunt, Pat's wife, and my daughter.
Right. There you go.
They're dragging us down, people.
Now, every one of those people you mention is of infinite importance to that poor individual.
Yes.
But it's of scarcely less importance to the rest of us and to all of our children who must pay in one way or another for these biological and racial mistakes.
Right.
That Black Lives Matter, guys.
All right, Black Lives Matter. But listen, this is old-timey stuff. Nobody agrees with Margaret Sanger anymore.
No one.
It was a great privilege when I was told that I would receive this award.
Margaret Sanger Award.
Admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
Sure.
Another of my...
Yeah, her vision to wipe out the black race.
She had a great vision.
What a vision.
And she's doing it. But they're doing it in proportion to the population.
Well,
it's 12.5%.
Really, but...
It's 12.5%. The population is 12.
It is 64%.
No,
but
it is not. It's 14.
Appreciate
14
the
on top of the 50, and you split that 50 in half, and that's 25%. Split that in half, it's 12.5. You're quibbling over half a percentage point.
It's an interesting formula.
Great friends, Ellen Chesler is here, who wrote a magnificent biography of Margaret Sanger.
Magnificent.
Oh, yeah, magnificent.
And when I think about what she did all those years ago in Brooklyn, taking on archetypes, taking on attitudes and
morons,
accusations flowing from
feeble-minded.
Yeah,
I am
immigrants. Can you imagine anybody? Can you imagine if Mitt Romney would have given a speech where he's like, you know what? And I got to tell you about the Grand Wizard. He was fantastic.
What a vision! What a vision the guy had.
What a visionary!
How? It's
you know why? No, it's not. It's not. It is they are in control of the storytelling.
Yeah, well, yeah,
they're in control of the storytelling.
It shows you how important that is, doesn't it?
If we don't get in control of the storytelling, they're so smart. They got in control of the storytelling, and they did it by getting in control of the educational systems. Because once you have control of the educational systems, then you can say, this is the author that everyone should read. This author, we're elites. You don't know. This is great literature. Have you ever read Grapes of Wrath?
Not since high school.
Okay.
I don't remember it very well.
Yeah, we all had to read it. We all had to read Grapes of Wrath. That is the biggest anti-capitalist tripe I've ever read in my life. It drips. Now that you are old enough to understand, you read that again. I read it last summer. You read that again, it just oozes hatred for capitalism.
Really?
Read it. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautifully written. Really well written. But it is virulent, give me the right word.
Virulent?
Virulent in its hatred for capitalism. Just seething hatred for capitalism. Who cares? Who cares? It's a beautifully written book, right? Because all of the elites say it's a beautifully written book. Well, I've read really, really great, beautifully written things. They're not getting all of the prizes. They're not getting all of the professors to say, you have to read this book. If you can get the story writers, and then you can get the elites in the universities, you win.
And they've done even better than that because they've got it down to the language. They've controlled not just the story, but also the language. What a victory that was to go from abortion to I'm pro-choice. What an amazing win when we let them get away with that.
This is why they have to control the internet.
Yeah. No,
Are we announcing this tomorrow?
Are we announcing that thing tomorrow?
The internet? No, it's been out for a while.
No, I invented it.
Oh, you did?
I invented
congratulations.
it. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
do. We're announcing that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. We're announcing something tomorrow, but they're trying to get control of the internet. They have to retain control of your information. They have to have control of the pipeline of information, and that is the cable companies and the internet. If they can control those things, they will continue to win.